My name is Shannon Miller, and I'm actually a cleaning business owner, and I'm also a business strategist, and I focus on helping people build up the back ends of their business. And today is our monthly not monthly, today is our weekly live venue that we talk about questions that come up in the group, what we can do to help better our businesses. So I come here once a week, usually on Mondays at 3 p.m. And today we are going to talk about safety protocols for doing bids in person. Hopefully this is all going, and you can hear my bird in the background, so I'm sorry about that. It's really important in today's times, if you are still doing in-person bidding, that you take precautions to look out for your safety. I talked to a friend who went on a bid and had a very scary situation. She lived in a smaller town like me in North Carolina or South Carolina, and she went to go do the bid in person, and both were single older males, and both had really weird vibes. That's your gut instinct speaking, and both acted very strangely when she arrived on site by herself. So I want to kind of go over what the safety protocol should be for yourself if you still do your bids, or for your staff if your staff goes out and does bids. First and foremost is communication. So obviously you want to confirm your appointment with whoever it is that you have an appointment with. Make sure that you are confirming that appointment. First of all, you don't want to go and waste your time. And second of all, you want to make sure that you have the address right. Once you get the address and it's put in your calendar, then you want to have a series of protocols in place. God forbid something should happen. You got to be careful in today's society. We just have a lot of people who are just not mentally well. So what I used to do when I used to do bids out in person is I would say, okay, I have a bid at 125 Main Street at 3 o'clock. So I would actually tell my husband, hey, just to let you know, I'm going on a bid at 125 Main Street at 3 o'clock. And then when I got there, I would say, okay, I would text him and say, okay, I'm here. And then about 10 minutes into the conversation part of the bid, I would actually take the call. That would be my husband. Sometimes I did this with a shift leader if my husband was unavailable. Sometimes I'd have my mom do it. Anybody who is available during that time and place to help you out to go through this motion. So 10 minutes after I arrived, sorry, my notes are blowing around because the wind is kicking up and it's getting ready to have more monsoons here in Arizona. So, but first and foremost, when you arrive, text someone, another body, to tell them that you've arrived at the property. And second, have them call you 10 minutes in. And then about 30 minutes in, it shouldn't really take you longer than 30 minutes to do a bid in person. Have them call you again. And then when you've made it back to your car and you're safe and everything is all good, then, text that person and say, I'm good. Thank you. It's important to do that each and every time and be consistent. My friend, Stephanie, who is in South Carolina, she, like I said, went to these two properties, and then I saw another post in another cleaning group, a very large cleaning group that I think had like 90,000 or 100,000 people in it, cleaners and owners, and that confirmed it. So I wanted just to make sure that we kind of go over what that safety protocol is. You need to make sure that you are having someone call you and that you have connectivity points in each and every place, so that, God forbid something should happen. And I'm not saying everybody's bad out there. I'm just saying that there's just a lot of weirdos, and usually your gut will be your number one indicator if something is going wrong. So do those. And like I said, I reiterated with Stephanie, she arrived and the person kind of gave off really weird vibes. There wasn't a lot of furniture. It was just kind of weird. The whole thing just didn't mesh. So she listened to her gut and she ended up cutting the bid short, because the guy just said really offhanded things and then laughed maniacally, and it just was kind of off-putting. So then the second bid she had, this happened 2 in one day, is she had another older gentleman who was a widower, and he had some furniture but not a lot of furniture, and made some really weird comments to her, and talked about inappropriate things like porn and icky stuff. So If that's the case, and you should come across a situation like that after you make it back to your car and you've told everybody that it's okay, then you can actually file a police report. And they may not do anything, but at least for that address, for that time and place, if they get enough calls and it keeps pinging up in the computer, they'll send cars out there and check just to make sure that everyone's safe. Because I remember, I think it's probably been about 8 years now, and it was in Kentucky. And I don't know if you guys remember this story. She was a cleaner, and the gentleman lived by himself on this like 250-acre farm in the middle of nowhere. And he kidnapped her, and he took her hostage and chained her up like a dog and kept her in a cage. And for some reason, I think it was a UPS truck, her rustling around because her mouth was taped and her hands were tied. And she subsequently was rescued, but not before it had been a very long time. I think he held her for like 3 months. Too long for anyone to do that to another human being. So please keep your eyes and your ears open when you are out doing bids. And if you have a funny inclination, you could actually, if you don't want to do the whole calling thing with your husband or your significant other or whoever that person is, you can actually go there as a team, have the person wait in the car while you go in and do the bid. They don't have to be there. Or you could actually introduce them as part of your team. I've done that too. This is my lead, Michelle, and she is just here she's learning how to do bids. And she's just here to kind of watch things. And then that way, the probability of something like that, God forbid, happening is slimmer because you have the contact points and or an extra person with you. So that is super duper important, and those are safety protocols. If you guys have had a scary situation, I mean, you don't have to tell me guts and glory, because I am not good with that. Sorry, my hair is all messy from the wind and the humidity. Go ahead and put them in the comments below, and I'm sure we'd all like to learn from one another. The most scariest situation I ever had, and I will go first, is I went to do a bid for an older couple, and they had been married for 55 years, and the wife had fallen, and she had broken her arm. And the gentleman was upset that she fell and broke her arm because now he was going to have to pay out money to keep the house clean. And he was very angry, and and this is when I still did in-person biddings, he actually proceeded to start to yell at me after he yelled at his wife about how stupid it was that he was going to have to pay this ridiculous amount for housekeeping. I firmly stood up and I said, I don't think this is going to work out. And I took my business card back and I left. So you just never know about people and what they're going through and what their nuances are. So just be careful when you're out there. In addition, I happened to get one of these. I don't know if you guys saw this, and this reminded me of an important topic. Coupons, you either love them or you hate them. This is actually a really good coupon. It's actually for Jiffy Lube. I use them. We have 8 vehicles, so it ends up being an economical thing because we use synthetic oil and it becomes expensive. So they offer them and we take them. If I remember, I try to put them in my organizer and all that other stuff. But what I'm bringing this to your attention for is that house cleaning doesn't necessarily need to be a couponed or discounted item. We talk a lot about pricing and what the national averages are here in America and what they should be and what you should be charging. Flat rate is my favorite. You guys all hear me preach about it all the time. But you either love it or you don't. I mean, you can trade coupons for advertising if that's your thing. But it's super important that you don't discount your services unnecessarily. The only time I've ever given a discount was when we biffed it. And it's few and far between, thankfully, knock on wood, that we biff it. When we biff it, we usually biff it really good. So it's important that you don't give discounts. I know that in the past that has been the standard protocol for giving a discount because you were a regular customer. I don't think those are the times. I think as we progress on and as our economy shifts and as we have more entrepreneurs and more people stay at home and work from home, I think there's going to be even a higher need for housekeeping, and I'm going to see more and more of you guys cleaning business entrepreneurs. So think twice before you give a discount. And if you are going to do this coupon, which is a really lovely stock card, came right in the mail, make sure that you are buffering in that price. So you need to ask that question. Do you have a coupon that you are going to be using for this cleaning today? and they'll either say yes or no, or where can I get mine? And if they do say yes, make sure that you buffer in that extra price for the coupon. Very simple. That way you're not really taking a discount. They think they're getting a discount, but they're not really getting a discount. You're just buffering that price in. It does cost for these. Last time I looked into it, it was about a year ago, to mail out a postcard like this to a demographic area, like zip code 86310 or 86323 or 26 or whatever it is, was, I think it was 500 or 900. I think it was probably in between, depending on the size of the zip code, how many people live there. And you guys all live in bigger cities than me, so I'm sure it's even more. It's probably $1,500 a whack. But make sure you do your research before you do a coupon, super important. And make sure that you are following any safety protocols. I didn't see any other questions, so I'm assuming you guys are all busy, which is awesome, because we're all gonna make up for last year, right? And go ahead and tag me if you have a question, or any of the others who are in the group. I look forward to hearing from you. You guys take care.